Good. We'll call the meeting to order. March 12th, Thursday, 6:44. Sorry about the late start, but I'm glad everybody hung around and see if we can't just dig in here. Brief agenda tonight, but I think it's deceptive. We'll get into some topics and review some things down the line. First we'll take up the minutes. I'd like to thank Dave again for doing an excellent job. I don't have any revisions or corrections that I saw. Anybody else have questions, concerns?
It's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Motion to accept the minutes as written.
I move we accept the minutes as written.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any objections? Say no. That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Sure, thanks. Hey, actually, question about order, on point of order, I think.
Certainly.
Since Chuck's here, am I allowed to move that we accept the minutes? I mean, I'm the
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah.
I just can't vote.
Your presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not like we're gonna deduct your.
Oh, my God.
You showed up, you're a live body.
No, I
It's
think
like
any of
sending
the
the
members of the
petition
committee
to
who were present can participate, and we have always encouraged that. So, yeah, I would say your vote would, if it were some incredibly serious issue, that somehow we had to keep, each lake representative separate, and so, it was kind of contentious. I don't see that ever happening. But, we have always we've welcomed people from other boards, and they're all, if you have a concern about the lake here in Littleton, your voice should be heard. And if you're a member of the committee in any capacity, I think your vote counts. Always has. But thank you for questioning. It's great. Lake ponds and lake and ponds updates. We've got, I think, first off from Nick Waller, an email from I think a week ago that I shared with you all. And this is in response to a couple of questions we had specifically for Spec Pond last month. And he wrote and gave us the lowdown on the number of programs that they have in the works. Specifically, maybe Leon, we'll start with the boat launch, if that's all right.
That's good for me. Yep.
Yeah, I was following up with Nick after the email that I shared with you. And Leon was concerned that with just the drawings that we've got, we don't really have any orientation as to exactly what decision process was being made, or what the options were, or what the assessment was of the boat launch area. And so Leon shot an email to me. We both got on to Nick's radar and asked about some kind of description of the assessment of the lot, and then the proposals as they were, rather than simply referring to the drawings. And we haven't gotten an answer from him yet on that. But again, what we have are those drawings. And as you have seen, if you've looked at them carefully, they're doing some regrading to make it a more gentle, not much more gentle, but a little bit more gentle, slope, more consistent. And then there's some erosion deterrent additions, some rubber barriers, and what is it, a level? What is that, Leon? A level something, the catch basin. But they're proposing to dig a trench around most of the parking area and the launch to capture runoff, and so we don't have a great deal of erosion into the pond again. But Leon, your assessment, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, as I said by email, it looked like there were three choices. I think, and I'm just guessing, that the third choice, which is more preferable to me, had an impervious chunk of the down road from 119 into the parking area. So they're going to throw down some asphalt. I thought that it was a good idea to do that. Could make a few tweaks to that. I assumed, big assumption, that the Littleton Water Department was going to go after the third choice because some time ago I guess they said they were going to belly up with $48,000, and in fact that fits the profile of the work that needs to get done and the bid that has been tabled from CEI
Right.
for that third choice. So anyway, I want a clarification on this. Is it the third choice? That's the one I want to go to for the implementation.
With the rubber, what are they, rubber barriers of some sort, rubber bumpers, I guess, that must be to channel.
Yeah, you asked that
flow or
question.
something.
You asked that question, and I'd love to get a qualification on that as well.
Sure. And
Really,
then
what I
there's a-
wanted was impervious cover from the road, 119, down to the parking area, and then down into the actual launch area. And then they went to some pervious area as well at the very end of the
Right.
road. That all
Right.
sounds really good to me. I just want to know if the Littleton Water Department is going to belly up with 48,000, which it appears is connected with the third choice. I didn't like the other two choices as much.
I think you're on target there. I was wondering, and I asked Nick, I'll ask you about your ideas. I was wondering if there was any way to extend the ramp further. Is that just out of the question, or it would lower the pitch just that much more? If they had a more gentle slope, it would be easier to access and pull back out. And I just don't know if that's something that's even an option on the table, but.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. You start eating into the parking area is unfortunately what happens when you try to
Sure,
mitigate the slope. Yeah. Anyway, these are things that we you can discuss with CEI. You know,
right.
can't take any more than 15 minutes, half an hour for them to describe their thinking.
Yeah.
And talk about these rubber things. You know, what the heck are those rubber things? You know?
Yeah, no, that's, well, again, clarification, they were clearly indicated on the drawing, but, no written description, so,
Right.
again, we'll follow up on that, but
Yeah.
good news to see that they've made progress. and-
Are you saying that they were proposing to pave most of the lot?
No, well, Leon, maybe you can.
Yeah, the third choice, and there's three. The third choice is to pave all the way down from Route 119 down to the parking lot, including the parking
Yeah.
lot, including a piece that goes down the severe slope of the boat launch, but it ends up in some impervious area as well. At the
And
very
then
end.
there's a big, erosion control, pit essentially,
Yeah.
that will catch runoff, before it washes into the lake and then be distributed, off the side on a, what they're calling a, level spreader. And,
Right.
I had never seen the term before, but, it's a way of redirecting water that's and off, so then
It's
becomes-
just,
it sheets, so it's less intense. And it just goes down into, riprap or whatever.
riprap hole that it's soaked down into.
Yeah, essentially, so.
And what I pointed out is just off to the right of the road that leads down from 119 is a little sump area that we tried to use once in the past, many years ago, which would be ideal. You can throw a heck of a lot of water into that sump, hollow depression area. I don't know if they considered that or not.
So what's the status of the project right now?
They have selected, I believe they selected the third scheme that Leon was talking about, these rubber barriers. And I think that's gonna proceed sometime. What was the email is, let's see, they're drafting permits. Said they try to get a draft, notice of intent, package to us in February. Once they send it to us, we'll provide comments. By then, it should be good to send to Conscom. We've not received the NOI package yet, nor have they sent us any invoices thus far. Regarding the Spectacle Pond boat launch, CEI services for design and permitting, $27,500. We'd like to have the Clean Lakes CPC money go towards these costs, as they had $30,000 secured for Spec Pond boat launch engineering study. LEWD has budgeted $48,000 in fiscal year 27 toward the boat launch construction, which should be plenty, to complete the project this summer or fall. So, I would
Yeah, so
imagine,
after June 30,
yes,
work could
yeah.
start.
yeah, and I would imagine it will proceed into the fall.
Yep.
So option 3, which is the one you're thinking they're going with contingency, though, they have it at 53,000.
Yes. Yeah, that's another confusing thing is that the 48 just covers the baseline
Right,
without considering the contingency.
right. And then the other 2 options are 36 and 38,000. So
Right.
it would be good to get clarification.
Well,
So if they say that they have 48 or 53 in the LEWD 27 budget,
Mhm.
what were they saying about using CPC funds?
just to pay for the engineering.
Oh, for the
that's been
engineering.
done, and they haven't been billed for that yet. But,
Okay.
that would be that would come from the CPC
Leon,
as planned.
how is it to get the boat in the water? I mean, we're talking about the land and the slope and everything, but
It's terrifying. It's
no.
You're like,
You get it in, but how are the weeds
Oh.
going out to it, Leon? How is
Yeah, the slope is-
level and everything?
Yeah, the slope is quite nasty. It is overgrown with weeds. We've had a number of complaints about weeds and muck islands, for that matter, that are blocking the channel that leads out from the boat launch into the pond proper. We're hoping that our herbicide treatment, hopefully this year, is going to beat that back. It's
Okay.
not going to beat back the muck islands, though. In fact, Saul has complained about that he can't even really get his kayak in gracefully because
But
of
you
those
got hip
muck-
waders, right? You have hip waders
Oh yeah, I got all kinds of
or
waders.
chest waders? You can go in there and get rid of that?
No, not quite.
No?
No. If we
And
ever had a
another
decent,
point.
if we ever had a decent drought, we might be able to get in there.
There you go. Leon, another point, there's no, what is it, gravel and sand, under the water line there?
Yeah, over time, there's been quite a bit of that disgorged, I call it, into that area. I would actually like to have some dredging done, because right now it's difficult to launch a large boat, a pontoon boat. Very difficult to get that into the pond now. In fact, I've given up on the boat launch of launching from the boat launch and recovering from the boat launch. But fortunately, I have a next door neighbor that has a boat launch, so ain't a big deal.
There you go. Well, as Kenny says, a little scary at this point, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's a scary slope. Got to have 4-wheel drive to get your boat in and out. If it's a large boat, I'm thinking it's
For sure.
18, 20 foot. A lot of the people that own pontoon boats, there's like a dozen on the pond, don't want to use that launch anymore,
Mhm.
which is a shame.
Well, is there anything you would recommend, based on, well, we've looked at this for a long time, but, based on your experience, something they're overlooking or,
The dredging.
Yeah, the dredging.
Yeah. And then would you want some sort of a concrete pad at the base of this? I think they have that at Long Lake.
Well, they have a impervious chunk that leads right down close to the water.
Got it.
I would like to know from CEI the probability or possibility of extending that impervious pad further down.
Sure.
And again, this is a discussion with them, I think.
Yeah.
what are the advantages of a larger impervious pad?
Well, if you drop off the edge of that drive down, or if you're backing your trailer down,
Oh, and
You
then
stay on
slip.
you stay on the pad.
about
Yeah,
an
you're
hour.
hitting mud and gravel if you don't.
I
have a
see. So
larger
that's really for
impervious
cars. Okay.
Well, why don't you take a look at Mattawanakee? Because
Yeah.
we just put that in and it was just slats, basically. And it hooks up, it's got stone between them. And we went right down when we had it drawn down, we went right down to the edge and came up.
Yep.
And, it's good for the car, but sometimes the boat tires will go off the end when it
Right.
gets, towards the end of the summer.
And how did that work fare during this, at least this recent winter, by the way? You got a lot of
I'm
good
not
ice came in?
sure. I'm gonna have to go down there and check it out once all the
Right.
snow leaves that spot.
Yeah,
We don't usually use it in the winter.
We don't use it in the winter,
right.
but,
Yeah, I was just interested in, if you go down there, did the ice, wreck that,
well, it
landing?
was all, we had a great drawdown and it was all above the water line.
Nice,
Ah,
very successful.
Mhm.
Cause I went down there a few times at the end, when it was not, and no ice or snow, and we were way below. So I'm hoping that it worked out great.
yep.
Very good.
So, we talk about your herbicide treatment?
Contract is signed for Solitude.
Mhm.
With this
Which
work.
lakes,
This is for Spec Pond, expressly for Spec Pond.
And that was, they got a quote for that this spring?
I don't know if this is based on last year's quote, or if this is, do you know, Mark?
I don't believe it's based on last year's. It was a new quote.
Yeah. I know they were working on it.
So we don't have a contract yet for the spring, treatment?
I understand you have a contract signed for Solitude, or with Solitude for this work, the invasive vegetation management. An
Okay,
initial scheduling effort next week, where they will determine timelines for treatment this year. And I'm kind of wondering if we do the same thing for, Manawanaki.
Yeah.
I mean, you have money standing by
Mm-hmm.
through the CPC. It's not like we're waiting for the approval of funds. And we could get that going, no?
Right.
so do we have from, TRC, the management plan, a part of which was, a method to sample the water to ensure that, the fluoridone, was not getting into the water supply? Is that plan done, paid
I-
for?
I don't have that specifically.
Yeah.
But, TRC has, the end of this email that Nick sent out, regarding the dredging permit, the efforts continue. They recently submitted a sampling plan, TRC did, to conduct sediment and aquatic plant sampling to inform the application. This plan was approved this past Friday. They're planning to perform sampling before invasive treatment takes place. No reference to any kind of head of the aquifer sampling or testing or monitoring, I guess it would be. But I'm sure that's going to be in place.
Well, Leon, you sent an email that said that that was being coordinated, right?
It
Well,
is
that's-
important in the context of the management plan that, Littleton Water Department signs off on that part that's supposed to specify how the, intrusion of fluoridone does or does not get into the water supply.
Listen,
Well,
That's
we'll follow up on that
independent.
with Nick.
That's independent of the dredging business.
But the email that you sent, one of the parts indicated that there was coordination between the sampling, process and the herbicide treatments, so that the sampling is gonna be done before the treatments.
Yeah, now that applies to the dredging piece. I'm talking about the management plan for the pond. And that Littleton Water Department was uncomfortable about applying, sonar fluoridone to the pond. And they wanted, in the context of the management plan, nothing to do with the dredging, context of the management plan, they wanted to know that there was a plan on how, TRC was going to sample for, fluoridone. That's
We've got
Spectrum
that
Pond.
too, Leo.
Oh,
That's here, under the, it's under the management plan. I didn't look there. Pond, bathymetry, plant mapping and sediment assessment are complete. Still working on other tasks, the water quality assessment, fish community evaluation, hydrologic and nutrient budgets, herbicide monitoring program design, and final report. So it's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works, but it needs to get done soon.
Absolutely.
And,
You
and,
said
and
that
water
was,
department, water department's got to sign off on the plan, obviously.
Precisely.
the issue was, a process to make sure that the fluoride doesn't get into the well?
Right.
Yes,
And what would have to, what were they saying would need to be done to confirm that?
in the context of the management plan, there would be some measurement for fluoridone intrusion or not into the water supply.
In the groundwater?
Well, however it gets in there, some of the water supposedly that's get pumped out of the Spectacle Pond wells, has a direct contribution from the pond. Certainly a lot of it's groundwater, but I've heard as much as 25% comes from the pond. Anyway, they got to have that plan.
So I gather they'd be testing the water that's pumped. Unless, I mean, because it's coming, it's a non-point source sort of situation. If it's seeping in from the lake, or from the pond rather, in places, in numerous places, they'd have to test the water, test the water that they're pumping out of the aquifer to make sure that, it's not affected.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they don't want to pump it over to Whitcomb Ave before they've tested it. They want to test,
right.
yeah. Now, what happens if it turns out that there's some fluoridone? Well, that puts the kibosh on the herbicide treatment. You got to shut it down in other words, you got to do the treatment, then you got to measure, and if you see any fluoridone, got to shut it down.
Well,
That's what
according
I'm
to
thinking.
DCR, it won't migrate, right?
That's our.
Not supposed to.
Yeah, I'm sure they've done a lot of testing.
Yeah, and that sets us up for the future. If we find ourselves having to do herbicide treatments again,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not this is an issue.
So are you planning to do just the one treatment this spring?
It is, if it's fluoridone, you treat, best case, you treat in May, and then you do bump ups in the order of 2 or 3 to sustain the proper solution in the water column.
But this is
Now
all
that
part of the
sometimes,
same contract.
if we treated late in like June, we've sometimes gone all the way to September to do treatments, bump ups.
But the bump up treatments are part of the same contract. That's recognized at the time it starts.
Yes.
Mhm.
And mostly as a result of the flow. Washes the intensity away.
Oh, but, okay. But, it's a May treatment and then maybe some follow-ups, but are you going after, fanwort?
Yeah. Fanwort.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited it's coming your way. Long overdue. But again, that brings up Manawanaki, and I'm wondering, well, I'm of course wondering if we're gonna find ourselves in the same situation as we did last year.
Well, I mean, if they have a quote for Spec Pond, and that was
Separate contract.
a process, an appropriate process for doing that, the work that's anticipated for Forge Pond is less than $50,000, so would only require quotes also.
Which would be great,
Yeah.
if we could consider each one as a separate contract.
Right, because they were saying that, I mean, we had heard last time that they didn't feel they could start the bidding until after town meeting. But if we don't,
Well, for Long Lake, because there's no money standing available at this point. But for you, that's not the case.
well, the 35,000 that we're planning to use is the current allocation that would be voted at town meeting.
No, I thought that was already established.
There's other money from CPC that hadn't been spent.
Well, I'm talking about the block of money that you had originally earmarked for eco harvesting
Right,
that can be used
right.
for.
It could be used, but that's only 20,000. And so if we wanted to do, I mean, if we have 35,000 available,
So they need the total amount.
But,
Yeah.
were you able to find anything more about that?
I have not found anything yet.
Okay,
I will follow up.
I
tomorrow.
mean,
Or Monday.
yeah,
They're hard to get tomorrow.
you know, the team in Westford doesn't have that constraint. Their bids are written in a way that if the money turns out is not available, then it's not available in the
Right,
contract.
and you
doesn't-
do only so much as you can afford.
Or, yeah, and if there's no money, then there is no treatment.
Mhm.
So they don't need to wait for town meeting.
Yeah, well, this is a situation we run into annually, regardless of whether it's eco harvesting or it's,
Right, but if,
herbicides.
so the question comes to mind, if we're doing a treatment on Forge Pond that's less than 50,000, it would seem like it wouldn't need to be bid, it could just be quoted.
Mhm.
And, if it's not, if the bidding process has to wait for the money to be totally available, I assume the quotes wouldn't, because you're just asking, if we did this, how much would it cost?
My understanding is they were writing the RFP in such a way as that they could scale up or down based on the amount of money they had, so.
Yeah,
That would be a vast improvement.
yeah,
But I haven't heard an update on the RFP.
but I mean, if we're only doing a treatment of 35,000, do we even need to bid it?
Well, no, that would be the advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
But if we have to wait for the approval of the additional funds, before we can move forward, again, if it's incremental, I think we could get a contract and say, all right, well, we can grow that. Or shrink it, you know, it'd be great to grow it, right?
well, even if we have to wait until May 5th, if we don't have to do a bid, we could just get quotes, that won't take a month.
Yeah, I just don't know how much lead time Solitude needs before they're in the water. And, okay,
We
so
can-
it's the beginning of May, by the end of May, you would have treatments, I'm sure, it would take a couple of weeks at most.
Well, they would need to come and do the plant survey and
Right.
then make the plan according to that.
But it could be based on last year's quote. No,
Well,
or you'd rather not,
last year, there wasn't really a quote last year that would guide what you would do this year, because it was just a one number. It wasn't, you know, if we did so much of,
no, it's true, but they had a report they were looking at that was a year old,
oh, you mean the plant
the
survey?
plant survey.
Oh, yeah, well, last year they did the bidding based on the plant survey from 2024. We have a plant survey from 2025 that
From
we
what?
could,
Right, didn't they do a plant survey?
yeah, we did plant survey last year, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that we could, I mean, another wrinkle is that the Conservation Commission asked for a preliminary plan this spring, ahead of doing the work. It was pointed out that there's not enough time after we do the plan survey to come back to them and with the plan and get them to approve the plan and still have it done in time. And they said, that's okay, just bring us a preliminary plan earlier in the spring. And, you know, they said, you know what you're gonna need. Well, it depends, I mean.
No,
Last year we had a plan, but it was, you know, we weren't gonna spend the amount that we have this year, so it'd be a different plan. So we can work with Solitude now to see what kind of plan would be appropriate with the current funding that's expected.
Mhm.
I guess we would need to if the Conservation Commission wants to know what the plan is gonna be ahead of time.
And Mark, these contracts are all coming through the water department. We're not going through Conscom for any of these.
I'm not sure if they're coming, well,
The funding's coming through applications to CPC through Conscom.
yes, so I don't know if the contracts are coming through the water department or the conservation department. I'm not positive.
But they won't move forward until we're assured that there's a certain amount of money set aside per lake. And right now, like, for example, Long Lake has nothing.
That they, I can see that they wouldn't put a
Yeah.
contract in place
Right.
before but I mean, we have a contract in place I mean, is the spec pond herbicide treatment from 27 funding or from 26 funding?
I don't know.
I mean, we have a contract in place for that.
I
No,
think the water commissioners allocated monies this year like they do annually. And
this is money left over from,
Well, that's
from
for-
26.
that's for 27. What they would, what they'd be approving now.
Yeah.
So they still have monies left over if they use them.
Mhm. Another possibility for Forge Pond is that, Westford has a contract in place, multi-year contract in place to do herbicide treatments. And in the past, we've done, like for eco harvesting, we've done one contract for the whole lake, and one of the towns initiates the contract, and they, because the town doesn't initiate the contract, forwards funding to or they might just, the contract might be with one town, but the invoices might be sent to the towns separately. There's a possibility that we could do the contracting for the treatments through the Westford existing contract,
Wow.
and then they would just invoice the towns separately.
Huh. That's the first time it's actually been a benefit to have two towns share the same water body.
We've shared things back and forth before, which
Yeah.
is, I mean,
Usually a tripping point.
it can be, but there've been benefits too, yeah. So probably, I mean, I can explore that with Westford, and we can, I guess we can talk to Solitude about what kind of treatments, I mean, if the Conservation Commission needs plans this spring ahead of when we would be doing the plan surveys and all that,
Mhm.
we can talk to them now to see, based on last year's plans, what would they recommend for this year?
Hmm.
And we'll have to see, I mean,
Who's the contract within Westford?
Solitude.
No, who signed the contract on the Westford side?
Well, it's through, it's probably through the conservation, I mean, they have a requisition, I mean, a procurement division. I think all the contracts go through the procurement division. The contract was the bidding was done, by, conservation, on behalf of Westford Health Lakes and Ponds Collaborative.
Okay.
Interesting, but I would imagine, well, we'll hear from Nick, if he would insist on the water department doing the contract here. Or the monies that are coming, well, I don't know. Might have an idea about it. Might be open to this too, I don't know.
So let me just ask you some questions here. We have a report, this is what I'm gonna summarize here, we've got a report from 2025 of what the weeds are like, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Why can't we just give it to whatever,
Well,
and say, what is it gonna cost? Does that cost us money to do?
well,
Does that cost us money?
I
no,
don't think it's legal.
there are a lot of different options on how we can do it, whether we do just contact herbicides, whether we do systemic herbicides, whether we do a combination of those.
Understood, I understand that.
Yeah,
Oh, but someone comes to me and says, can you look at my bathroom? And I bid it, correct? And they say, we don't want you to do it right now because we don't have the money.
mhm.
What,
Government works differently.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because, like I said,
I don't know either.
well, so we were talking just a minute ago about the difference between getting bids and just getting quotes.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
if it's less than 50,000, my understanding is we don't need bids. And if we're getting quotes, I wouldn't think we'd need to wait until the money, I mean, like Mark said, even if they're being bid, the bid document is written in such a way that if the money's not available, then, there's no expectation that it's gonna be spent.
Right, right.
And the request for.
Well, no, it's being cheated.
The request for a quote would obviously have a similar sort of, conditions.
Right.
I mean, how do you start to know how much money you need if you don't know how much the thing's gonna cost? So
Well,
we just say, we need $100,000. We don't know what it's gonna cost, but we need 100,000. We don't do that. You get a bid and then we tell how much we need, right?
I think in this case, we have a lot of options and, we could spend $100,000, but we don't have $100,000.
Mhm.
And so we can say, look, we have, this much from Littleton CPC, we have this much from Western CPC. And what kind of treatment can we get for that amount of funding?
Okay,
I think that's our limit is, this is the funding we've got, what's the best treatment we can get, because we could spend 3 times that much and still, and be productive with what we're doing. But we don't have that much money, this is how much we've got, so let's see what's the best treatment we can get for that much.
So given that you wanna do something at Mattawanakee this year, cause nothing happened last year, right?
yeah, I'm sitting here
I think
and we're spinning our wheels
What can we
again.
do to make something happen this year? What are the steps that need to happen?
Exactly. What can we make
That's
it?
what I'm wondering. If in the past, it's been the case that if Spec Pond needs treatment and Mattawanakee needs treatment and Long Lake needs treatment, all of a sudden we gotta go to bid because the total contract will be way over $100,000. Now, if Spec Pond already has a contract in place, can we actually look at each place individually legally? And I gather we can.
And
Why not?
if we would have to bid
It's
it,
never been done.
can we just,
Did we bid, did we just say we're gonna put the senior center up and not even know what the cost was?
I don't know.
We had to have bids. Then we go to the
Well, no,
townspeople,
Now, Chuck, we're not talking about a bid, we're talking about contracts.
whatever, contract, we
I'd
had.
love to have contracts, rather than sending things out
A
to.
quote, quote.
A quote, sure,
quote is different than the bidding process, so,
Quote.
yeah.
sure. Well, we would like to avoid bids in the future.
Okay,
We've always had to go to a bidding process, and it takes weeks.
well, the quote then.
Well,
Took a month last year. So, I mean, one other wrinkle this year is that we have a better drawdown this year than we've had for the last several years. So the plant survey may show something different than what we had last year, but I think it's pretty safe to assume it'll be quite similar to what we had last year.
And then the challenge, the other barrier is town meeting's not until May 5th, so if we need new money for this, we can't secure it until town meeting, and you're saying that might be too late?
Well, we would want.
In the
to do-
process?
Well, no, so we would want to do our plant survey late May, and we want to do the treatments, I think, early June.
Yeah.
Which, since town meeting is May 5th, if we, last year when we had to bid it, it took a month to bid it. So that would mean that we couldn't, get a contract until probably, middle of June,
Right.
which is past the time when we would want to be doing the treatments in the first place. If all we had to do was get a quote after, either before or after town meeting, we don't have that extra month in there, and presumably we could do that, or we could, if it's possible, to have the contracting be done with the existing Westford contract, and then the invoices are sent to the towns separately, we wouldn't have to do any of that, because they've already got pricing from the
Right.
bidding that they did for their contracts.
Mark, do you have any suggestions?
I will follow up with some and see what.
Okay. Given that it's March, right, so, I mean, we gotta, yeah,
I know they were trying to get work done, as early as they could.
yeah,
no, it's all possible. It can all fall into line, but again, if something triggers this bidding process, It's another disaster like it was last year, and
Yeah.
Solitude wins the contract, comes back and say, our recommendation is you start earlier in the year, so why don't we kick it down a year?
Yeah, I mean, they're being it's very helpful, all the things that are being done. We just have to coordinate to get the right result.
And it's difficult to know what you want before you see what's developed for the year. Which means we need sort of a current survey.
Did we receive any money after July 1st of last year, Matawanaki? Or did we say, we didn't want any, it's over? What did we receive? What did we receive?
Last year we got $80,000 for echo harvesting.
Okay,
And we said, and we got approval to use 20,000 of that for herbicides treatments, last summer because we could see that we weren't gonna be able to do echo harvesting. We weren't allowed to spend that for the herbicides. We got approval to use that this year if we needed to for the herbicide treatment. But now we've got an additional 35,000 that's been allocated. We'd probably prefer to spend the 35,000 that's allocated specifically for herbicides and only herbicides for the treatment this year. And keep the 20,000 to use for the echo harvesting.
After
Next year.
But if you could use,
no harvesting right out of the picture here. We don't even know if we're gonna get that.
if you could use $50,000 this year on Forge Pond, would you?
Well, we can, that's one of the things, it would be useful to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need to have the discussions with Solitude about, and, there's an interest in doing some, systemic, herbicides as well as contact. And the tension is that the contact herbicide gives you results now for this year and it makes things better for people this year. But next year, there's no effect on it. If you put in systemic, it takes longer for it to have an effect. I think it might have an effect in July, but it'll also have an effect next year.
So it's basically the double whammy.
But if some people, if contract herbicide is used in some places and systemic is used other places, and some people say, well, look at, how come I don't have my plants eliminated, and over there they have their plants eliminated? That's another fact.
Well, we could say this, we could say, we were just testing the waters to see what's going on. Okay, and we're gonna do this every year, and we're gonna wipe out this whole lake. And then, no, but we're gonna get that machine in here to cut it and make it grow again. I say, we stick with one thing or the other. I say we stick with herbicides to see what that will do in a few years. So far, we've been ripping up weeds for the longest time and it hasn't worked.
We've tried echo harvesting
No,
twice.
we've been this, okay? Remember when we were doing this for the hydro raker for what? Let's say 20 years.
Actually, nobody's arguing that the hydro egg works.
No, but no, I'm just saying, I used to do hydro every year, okay? Every year. And every year, it looked good for the year, okay? And then next year it comes back. But I never had weeds at the end of my dock. And you know why I have them at the end of my dock now? Because when we went like this, and then he took it up, the weeds fell. Okay? The weeds fell. And then all of a sudden, that whole area that's 8 feet or 10 feet that the sun sees is starting to get worse.
So
You know?
you're saying the echo, that was the
Oh,
echo.
that was the echo harvest. So, but what I'm trying to say is, no, that was the dredging.
Oh,
That was the hydro
The
rate.
hydro rate.
So what I'm saying is, hydro raking was getting down to the bare dirt. We would have a beautiful beach all
Right.
summer long, okay? But next year, we got a bunch of weeds in front.
Oh, right.
Why are we getting the weeds in front? Because that machine isn't touching in front anymore. So should you have turned the machine around and he pulled it this way and threw it on the ground that way? And then this frontage, we've had so many, your house, okay, did before you. They did that all the time. Now look at all that out in front of you. It's terrible. It's terrible out in
I
front
don't
of you.
understand what you're talking, we all agree.
What I'm trying to say is, let's try herbicides for a few years. Echo harvesting and dredging or hydro raking was the same.
We're trying
We will
to
try.
try
No,
herbicides.
it's not quite the same, but
I
Well-
think one of the issues, I think that the the 80,000 in funding that you said 20,000 of that could be used for eco harvesting.
Herbicide.
I mean, for herbicides, but the other 60,000 is only
It's
for,
thrown away.
right, like that can only be used for eco harvesting. And we may or may not use that, but was that CPC funding? Is that why? So that carries over. So that's why there's still that bucket. Doesn't mean that we're gonna use it.
We're not gonna use it.
I think that's what
Well,
we're saying. We're
I
not,
mean, it doesn't make sense not to use it.
unless we say eco harvesting is not the way to go.
Well, so, I mean, DCR says that harvesting is not the way to go, right? A lot of other people
And
say.
Chuck.
Right, well, we've tried it twice. Both times, the treatments were extremely limited. The first year only had $10,000 to do it. The second year, we were limited by 100 cubic yards, which was effectively the same thing. And, well, the intention was to do a significant treatment and see, okay, here's the real test. Is it with a, you know, doing a full blown, as much as we can, is it useful or not?
He's a planter. What do you think of it? What do you think about it?
I think you need to get rid of the phosphorus and nitrogen that's flowing into the lake to keep this up.
Well, you're never gonna get rid of that because the farm stands.
And people's lawns, anybody has a
Yeah.
clean lawn.
Okay, but what do you think about cutting the weeds?
I think it's a short-term solution. You're never gonna solve it with herbicides or anything. You have to solve the root of the problem.
Yeah, another song, find that.
Unfortunately, even if we stopped bringing in all the nutrients that come in, there's so much nutrients already in the lake sediment. Talking to lake management planners, they said it would take generations for that to be used up.
The only way to get rid of that is to dredge it out, which we could never get permission to do or funding.
We do the mini dredging that they call hydrobaking.
All right, in the spirit of moderating us and keeping us moving along, however,
Look at
I'm
this.
grading you on this.
eco harvesting is not on the table for this year anyways. We know that it's a point of contention. I think what we need to figure out is how are we gonna get to herbicide treatment for this year? That's the bigger.
You have money from the CPC that you already have,
20,000.
20,000, so that should go to herbicides.
Well, we have 35,000 for
We have 35.
After town
after
meeting.
May 5th.
But you have, well, yeah, but you have money immediately available, so plan on spending the money that you have immediately available first.
Well,
On the coat, in
Because then you
the,
don't have to wait for anything, right?
get a quote for 25,000. Or 20,000, whatever.
I don't know, we have to wait for,
5,000.
to use the 35,000, to plan for the 35,000.
If we know we're getting it, why don't we just do it?
You're saying we wouldn't spend it until after town meeting. Could we get a quote now so that we know it's gonna cost us $42,000 for doing herbicide
Or
and
whatever you agree.
Can we
Yeah.
talk to them about what our options are? We have anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
That we can spend here. We have 20,000 to spend on Westford.
So the question at hand is, can we get a quote?
Can
From
we-
Solitude
Can we talk to them? I mean,
without having to go to bid because we're already working with Solitude on,
Well, this is, again,
Yeah.
I think we've got
Yeah.
to firm up with Nick on this and find out, because they've been handling all of our contracts all along. Know exactly how to proceed here, because
Right.
not my area of expertise for sure. We'll get the answer,
Mhm.
so. And we'll move forward one way or the other as of next month. But I would hope you could be separate contract.
It looks like if we could have a separate contract for Spectral Pond, it would make sense that we could do that
You could proceed.
for the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
all right, so Mark's gonna find that out?
I'm
Okay.
going to find that out. I'm not sure they're planning on spending the whole $50,000 this summer versus having some left over to do like next May or early next year before they can go back and get another source of funding, but I will find that out too.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if the fiscal year doesn't end until June 30th, if we had money now for next year, so that come May next year, we're not waiting for town meeting to, right?
Why can't we do that?
Cause
why
we
can't we
can
ask
plan
for
for
it?
that this year, cause that would be looking at, right?
Right, I think part of the plan that was to ask for money that they weren't going to spend necessarily this summer, but would spend next spring in the CPC, so
Okay.
So I don't know what they, of the 35 plus,
Yeah, we would like to have that kind of a lag so we can attack this
Yeah.
early on in the season, especially with herbicides, because we want to hit it as it's starting to grow.
they might have been planting like 25 this spring and
Yeah.
25 next spring. I don't really know. I will.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that money's been,
That was, I know that was the
Requested.
thought. I don't know if,
Yeah.
how far along the process
Yeah.
it carried through.
Yeah.
So I will follow up.
but it's a circular conversation. To find ourselves in a little bit of a situation.
All right, but now this is the year we're gonna solve for.
So we're done with Mattawanaki. Now what do we go to next time? Long Lake.
Either contact in Westford. Can you send me that?
Conservation agent, I'll send it to you.
That could be the way to go.
Mhm.
I'll make sure that the two conservation agents are talking.
Very cool.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
For Mattawanaki, is your drawdown done? Is it all done?
It has, the lake has started to come up, it's come up a little more than a foot and a quarter, from the low point. We haven't started to put the stop logs back in yet, because it's a problem for some people that don't take their docks out. If the lake comes up before the ice is out, and the wind blows the ice pack over to their docks. But in another week or so, we'll need to do it anyway to make sure that we can, because the level has to be backed up by the beginning of April.
Is there open water yet on your lake, or is it still?
Only about 10 feet, 20 feet.
Yeah, 90% of the lake is still,
Yeah, so
Frozen.
at Long Lake, I don't know if that changed since yesterday, but it's still like solid slush, yeah.
The perimeter is
That's what
exposed.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, perimeter's all water.
but probably the thickness is in the center is decreasing too, so it may be
Oh,
that
sure.
at some point it goes, right?
Yeah, ice out in a few weeks probably, but I think it's gonna turn dramatically colder again, so
Yeah, we had, this week was wicked warm.
there you go.
But like I said, probably, by the middle of next week, we need to start
We'll have to start bringing it
proactively
up.
bringing it up so that we can, get it up in time. And we can't just cut the flow off through Stony Brook, we have to maintain a minimum amount. So it does take a while, but not all month, but
We should be able to bring it up in 2 weeks. It's just, the ice was a foot thick not very long ago, just a few days.
Yeah.
And,
But lots of rain, warm weather, knocks it down pretty quick, I would think.
Well, we have to hope so, but I mean, there's quite a few docks around the lake that, there was 25 feet of sand around the lake, and people leave that amount of dock in, assuming that the water will stay low, or if it comes up, it won't be frozen. And that's basically a valid assumption. So for example, right next to me, Rich Huffnagel's place, his dock extends almost to the water right now. And the water's still 3 feet below summer level. So if we bring it up, his dock will be in the water, and that giant ice flow, it'll crush his dock if the wind blows it over there. And there's other docks like that. So we need to wait as long as we can, but we can't.
and oh, 4 days ago, we had 10 inches of snow, all,
Yeah.
Around the whole lake.
And, with all the warm weather we have, had still 25% of it has got 6 inches of snow.
Yeah.
And that's, soft snow,
Mhm.
and frozen ice obviously is gonna take a lot longer.
No, Steve's completely right. Want to delay that as long as possible.
So it looks like this
It's
year
always-
we're gonna be in a risky interval as we bring the lake up, because the ice probably isn't gonna melt that fast.
Right.
Do you have to be up by April?
First,
Is that, whose standard is that? Conscom or
that's our orders of conditions,
that's the order? Okay.
yeah.
That's sort of the entire process.
Yeah,
Conscom, Heritage, National
National
Heritage,
Heritage.
Yeah.
everybody together.
Yeah.
But it says it has to go up to summer level. Well, what's that?
that's right. Summer level.
In summer.
1950, I don't know. Who said?
Well, as a means of transition, to get back to Nick's letter, He's got a mention of, the Stony Brook stream flow project improvements that they're working on at this point. He says Michael and Josh have a list of stream flow monitoring stations that they need to restore, connection to, and we're waiting for reduced snow pack and ice to work safely. Unfortunately, they didn't get any WMA grant money this year to continue data analysis and integration, analyze Forge Pond, release alternative designs, and perform and evaluate Mill Pond outlet structure to assess potential additional stream flow. So, I guess that's not happening. I don't think they anticipate.
So the Forge Pond and the Spectral Pond monitoring stations are working and they're connected to HydroView. The new, I don't know, I haven't been able to see any data from the new Forge Pond monitoring station at Beaverbrook. And I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
I would imagine, he says it's a list of monitoring stations that aren't reported, so,
Maybe Mill Pond.
well, no doubt, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's, so even though they don't have Stony Brook funding this year, they're gonna get those working. I mean, they're still funding the dashboards.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is great, yeah.
yeah, no, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's great.
But that leads us to the mill pond.
No problem. So last meeting, I was concerned that the data was not getting to Horton Wellesley, Wellesley Witten was the contractor that's doing the dam study. So I said I would go see Nick on that. And I did go there twice, and he sent the note out, and he made it clear that he's communicating with you. And he said that, they had sent all the Corps of Engineers study and a bunch of other good stuff there. And clearly he had that base covered. So I said, good, I'm glad this is happening. But I'm looking at the schedule now, and they have to finish, Wellesley Witten has to finish this by June. And if I look at the schedule, my next concern is the inspection. So after they take all this data, they're gonna come out and look at the dam. And I offered to Nick that we could clear paths and notify the neighbors and whatnot that this group is coming and what they're doing, and we need to do more communication. Like I'm even thinking the town newsletter, we need to put something in. But anyway, it's getting off the point. So if I look at the schedule that they have for finishing this project, it says that data collection and then the dam inspection should happen sometime between 1 February and 15 March. Now, so this is the issue that, because Nick is a very busy guy, and he's doing water, he's doing sewer, he's doing electric. And so, and I have the statement of work here, and, I wanted to be made a partner. That's how this whole thing started to unravel, as I requested Clean Lakes be a partner with this study, and Little Electric Water Light is the partner, and we are something lower than that. Nick made that clear. I'm good with that. But I'm looking at the statement of work here, and it says Horton and Wellesley will have telephone conversations with 1 to 2 town contacts or other local sources of information provided by the project partners. The project partners are supposed to go one level lower and get some of us involved to discuss the potential dam removal, available local insights, and potential complicating factors. So I agree we're not a project partner. They wouldn't allow us to be that, so I can't be in the meetings that happen. But I'm afraid these guys now are going to show up, and we're not going to have notified the neighbor or have anybody from Clean Lakes there. And so this is my latest thing.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping Nick will keep us in the loop, because he's, we're contacting him well in advance of whatever meetings they're gonna have. And I don't know how much input they're gonna have, but,
Although your concern is, are they gonna show up within the next 3 days? Because March 15th is.
Monday.
Yeah, I mean,
Right, so
and they made it very clear, the state made it very clear that they have to have all their final costs in by the end of July. So that means they have to finish in June, get all their costs together, and submit them. Otherwise, the way state works, you don't submit your bills, you don't get it. So I think this schedule is very realistic. It started on time, and according to this, now maybe because of the snow, we're waiting a little longer. But it's very difficult to get to this dam. You got 495, you got the bridge, you got the fence all the way across that, and there's fences all around the dam. I happen to know where the holes are of these fences we can get through, but these guys are gonna be carrying various survey equipment and whatnot, and so we need to cut down some brush so they can get through. And plus, not that I know a lot about the Mill Pond Dam, but if the contractor doing it wants to know what things about the dam they should know, I think some of the people living around the dam might have something they could venture.
Well.
And so we, at the ground level here, need to start doing that work to get people notified and see if they will have anything special that comes up. I mean, one of the things I want to bring up is the sluice gate is broken. Hasn't been moved in last dam inspections, going back 15 years, it hasn't been moved. Little things like that, it may feed into their study.
Move it.
Did you share any of these concerns with Nick, or was he just like, no?
With Mike,
Uh-huh.
I have never got to, I went to Little Mike Warrior, and he travels a lot. And, they told me to email him. So after 2 tries, I emailed him, and he sent the note back to John.
Yeah, we were.
And so, I'm gonna have to do it again. I will go over there and say, you know, statement of work says this, and I'm afraid they're gonna do it, and it's gonna be behind us, and then it'll be too late, because these guys are moving ahead. They're gonna put this study out on time. And the more information they get, the better. And they specifically say the partners need to identify people in the community who have information to be there.
It says 1 or 2 town contacts to discuss those things, so.
Would it be helpful if John, like if you give John bullets and he communicates with Nick?
I can get silly, but I will do that.
I mean, I'm just wondering if Nick has made it clear that he wants to only talk to John, like, John, can you be Jerry's mouthpiece on this? Like, what, I don't
I'll send
know.
you a note.
Mark, if you
tonight.
recommend anything here.
And you can send it to him, and then we'll work that way. But I just hope we haven't missed it, because
I mean, maybe you do a 2-pronged approach, like,
Put me on the list. They'll take my calls.
I don't know, you're
Yeah,
getting
Mark,
batteries. I don't think he's talking to you.
probably a better weapon than anybody else.
He doesn't particularly like me on, he won't take my calls.
so is that what you suggest? What do you suggest, Mark?
Let me go through John. I will copy you, because he copied you on the stuff to John. But, I just think Nick is really busy, and I don't expect him to be keeping up with this. And it's just a shame that I can't work at the working level with his people. So we'll just have to keep bothering him until he goes, no, mas.
Every indication from Nick that I've gotten seems to say that this is a state-run operation, and they're not even participating much. And so these guys are gonna move in from like whatever, you know, like their little drone over our dam to say, okay, well, you have to go or it's
They're
enough.
gonna drone it. I go inspect it, they're gonna drone it.
They didn't say anything about that.
I don't think they're gonna be on foot.
You don't think so?
They're not trudging through the mud.
Well, I would object to that. If they're gonna write up a study on this dam and not even look at it.
Well, again,
There's a lot of good things to see.
It's a state study. I'm sure there's lots of things to see, but they're busy.
You don't think they'll go and personally see the
They
dam?
have no idea.
Oh, I gotta believe they would, I mean.
I say they drone it.
Goes through the contract, doesn't say anything about drones.
My money's on the drone.
Not gonna get paid. Drone.
There would be a drone charge.
So.
We got a
The reason I haven't opened the sluice gates recently, I mean, in the last 10, 15 years, is because they're like rusted. And the concern is if they
Open it's gonna drain.
open it,
They can't.
they won't be able to close it.
Oh.
And that,
That
Not only
dead
that,
body will get in.
The bolts are rusted off on the top. There's
yeah.
one on top and 2 on the bottom, and they're rusted completely
The
off. So I
control-
wonder what bolts look like underneath.
The controls are rusted and they're afraid that, I mean, that's been the concern for the last 5 or 10 years. That
Yeah.
they don't wanna open it because they can't be sure they'll be able to close it.
Irreparable.
But if you look at some of the documentation, that's a requirement, that if the dam was built with it, it has to work. So the reason I think it's important is if they have to replace that, how much is that gonna cost? The state's gonna have to pay for that, because the state owns it. Good thing the town doesn't own it. The state owns it, they gotta fix it. So if they're gonna have to spend $500,000 to fix that, and it's only gonna cost, $1 million to cut a hole in the dam,
Mhm.
then maybe it's not quite such a onerous cost at that point.
Yeah.
So that's, if you tell the people this stuff, then the contractor can do what they want with it. But if they don't get the information, then we have no hope of them. Well, they'll come out with something that may not be in our best interest. So all I want to do is get this information to them and make sure that they can get to the dam. If they look at it and they say, we can't get in there, there's fences all around. It's not true. They can't get to it. There's holes in the fence.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it makes sense. You write a little report, Jerry's report on the dam, and document that, give that to John can get that to Nick, and you raise the concerns about, this is what it says in the contract, and May 15th.
You drop a boat in the water and you go over to the dam.
Yeah, and we have people who are willing and know the area and are willing to help you.
Well, that's true.
It's pretty good flow over that dam right now.
Well, that's all right.
Oh, I bet.
But March 15th, I don't think they're gonna be
No, but it's,
Put a little rubber dinghy in it.
there.
Pull your way across.
okay, so for
It has
this
to be
meeting,
like
I will
tomorrow.
write up my
It's air
concerns.
balloon, baby. They're coming in.
15th is Sunday.
Yeah, right.
I'll write up my concerns. We'll send them over to you, send them over
We'll,
to him, and
we'll-
Copy Mark,
we'll keep it churning.
a copy Mark.
yeah.
Orange
All right.
points in the loop.
Good, that's problem solving, guys.
Boy, oh boy, I'm voting for her.
I haven't decided.
Yeah, what was her name, Tammy? I'll look for the right name.
Carolyn,
What is,
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Yeah, thank you.
Who is this Carolyn?
That was-
Carolyn
that was flying
Campbell.
right by me.
Who is
Oh,
that?
there's one other thing. We talked about the money. The Clean Lakes Committee apparently has some cash that from savings capital. I think we
No,
should use
the
that.
Mill Pond Association.
I'm sorry, Mill Pond.
Yes,
Pond
yes.
Association. I think we should make some postcards up for the people who live around the lake and send them some information, because some of the people are gonna look at the town newsletter, but a lot of people.
Oh, that's a good idea. Use that money for education around
just
the
let people
initiative,
know.
yeah.
That would be a plus. And postage and all of that printing, and it just piles up real quick.
And so who has that cash? Is that, that has that?
I think, that Mitt has initiated some sort of control over that, but I don't think he's got it yet.
Okay, so I'll work with Mitt to get some money for postage to send out.
Yeah.
What we know.
Well, and I guess the question would be, at what point do you want to communicate to them, like, just that this is going on, or do you want to wait until, when's the report coming back?
Well, I would like to do it before we start before the survey of the dam. There's there's a lot of houses there and they're gonna.
Oh, okay, so saying like these.
All these instruments and people are gonna wonder
Yeah.
what we're doing.
And you say,
Well, maybe we should just print out something and walk door to door and hand out, like,
Yeah.
we don't know when this is gonna happen, like, could it,
how many houses do you?
There's a lot of houses that live around the lake.
You say a lot, is it over 100? How many?
Not 100.
I would say 100 if you go both sides. You go White Pine and the other one that comes down, 75 to 100.
It's got a lot of shoreline,
It's very,
Yeah.
A lot
very
of bays.
compact.
3 bays.
but
So
would they be at the dam end only, if they're doing a
and
survey?
everybody's gonna be affected by it. I mean, if they lower the
But
lake,
we don't know.
we don't know they're gonna.
But we don't know that they're gonna do that yet, I mean, what's the urgency for right now, is it just, hey, this is going on?
The town didn't know if we were gonna refurbish the school or we were gonna build a new one, but they sent the information out to everybody that had,
Yeah, so you're talking about like an initial, like, hey, this is going on, this is in the works.
yeah.
We don't know what's gonna happen,
We
but
don't know,
if you wanna get involved, talk to Jared.
because you tell one person, they tell somebody else, and before you know it, they all have different stories. And one person thinks the dam's gonna be taken down by this group of 5 people that are coming up to do the survey. So it's just good to get the information out. And
Right.
So
I agree with you.
the funding is there, we can send out little postcards to everybody, and we can run it by at next meeting, or maybe
Sure.
before that, about what it says, to make sure it's not alarming to anybody.
Oh, yeah, that's. Yeah, so removing the dam and all of a sudden your pond goes away, that's pretty dramatic, but they may move in that direction.
I say he says
The years
they're
long.
surveying the dam to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, see, exploring options for the future of our beautiful ecosystem.
Well, you could
It's
paraphrase
generous.
the press release that describes the whole program. And say this is happening for Mill Pond.
It's your fishing license money that's doing this, by the way. It's actually the Department of Fisheries, fishing,
Yeah.
that's sponsoring this thing. So
Yeah.
Very good. Hey, everything's quiet on Long Lake.
It's all frozen over still.
All frozen over, but no further discussions with Conscom, regarding, further action on whether there will be docks or no docks or,
Right, that keeps getting pushed out.
yeah, which I take as good news. They were pretty adamant about everything being yanked
I saw
last fall.
Michelle the other day, we were on that beautiful day out walking,
Mm.
and she was convinced that Conscom's taking everyone's dogs.
Well, they have the right to.
Right, I mean, yeah, that's, we were like,
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah,
what
they're
might
offended
happen.
by
Just a
kayak
FYI.
It's on the shoreline.
Just an FYI, in Mattawanakee, if you go for a permit, like I just went for a permit for my walls. And in the permit, if you don't have a dock permit, and if you have a dock, they don't give it to you,
They don't give you what?
my permit. I got my walls all fixed
Broke the
up,
rules,
right?
To fix the wall.
I
Do you
fixed the
have a
wall.
permit for your dog?
Yes,
Yeah, so you
I was
got
one
your
of the
permit.
first ones to get it. And I have a permit for it. And, what happens is now, if you wanna do any work on your yard, in the back, if you don't have a dock permit, they don't give it, if you have a dock, and you don't have a dock permit, they won't give it to you.
When was that instituted that you needed a permit for your dog? Is that,
You know what?
Last 2 years.
No, but I had mine 10 to 20 years ago, I got a dock permit.
oh, okay.
When I did my walls originally, because I had engineers doing it all, and they said, well, let's do a dock permit while we're here, it's 99 years, blah, 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 okay, let's go.
There was talk of making everyone get a dock permit, right? And this is the way of making it, incremental, right? But it could be that they're going to go to everyone and say, you're either gonna get a permit or you're gonna have your dock removed.
Yeah.
Right, so.
A year ago, along like, since they had released the dock brochure.
Yeah.
About legalizing things, they said if you were going to make any improvements on your house, you needed a building permit, they wouldn't issue it if you had a dock.
Yep, that's
You'd have
right,
to remove your dock.
Yeah.
To get a new roof or.
Right.
Or,
or have a permit.
or have a permit, yeah.
How do I get a dock permit?
I don't think you can on Long Lake, you can't get a
You
dog
can't,
permit,
it's
'cause
not
that's
your
not a
property.
thing.
You have to apply, it's a process.
It's a process.
There are what, 4 different places that actually are private property that abuts the lake.
Right, cause most people's docks are across the street on that town land, yeah.
I think the same thing is happening on Spec Pond too, but it's not.
It's all lakes, all Littleton lakes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you
What,
say
do we
that-
know any more about,
Still on hold?
There's been no action.
Okay,
It's been delayed, Chase hasn't been available, or, one thing or the other has come up, and so we've got
Yeah.
notifications where we're gonna be anticipating a meeting that night, and then Tim writes and says, sorry. That got shelved, so, there is no further news there.
what about Frog Pond, any update on that?
No news there, so we'll say, it's all ongoing, but, I think they're gonna do anything this summer. In terms of dredging that forebay, but that's just me. That's
We've been
based on-
told that
based-
they're
based
doing
on-
it any
Based on
season
15 years
now.
of
or-
experience,
Yeah.
this goes back to, not endorsing, cleaning up or replacing the trail there after they do the dredging and all these other things that are contingent on the dredge, the removal of invasive plants and everything else. And I gave it a big thumbs down until the dredging is done, till the forebay is cleaned up, and
Is it worthwhile
Everybody
pinging
down.
Yonley? He didn't respond to me when I, something.
I don't
a
know
while
that he
ago.
knows anything more than Rob said last month, but we could reach out.
Isn't Yonley the one doing the,
Yes, it's through the highway department.
right, like just, hey,
well,
we're
but you
still,
wouldn't
people
expect them
still
to be doing
wanna
it
know.
now.
No, and I don't expect them to do it this summer, because it wouldn't be at all popular to do.
Well, are you talking about the dredging or?
The dredging.
They said they were gonna go this spring or summer.
Yeah, that was
No,
what-
this summer or fall.
Frog Pond, Long Lake, spring,
This is-
summer
this-
2026, that's what I wrote down our last
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Won't see it happening.
So-
I'll be a pessimist.
Conscom signed off on it though.
So I'm
Right?
pretty sure that they've gone through the whole process of saying, all right, we're gonna do
Just
a
waiting for scheduling of.
retention and
And
everything.
Tie and Bond is the company doing it?
Yeah. No,
So does Conscom own the project or does Highway own the project?
Highway.
well, it's highways project, but they have to sign off with Conscom to get permission to actually get in.
Well.
My understanding is it is scheduled to be done this summer. so-
This year,
This-
this summer, but summer,
But I don't
you
know.
know.
I mean, they said
Fit out
spring or
for-
summer, so
I know what they
would
said,
think so.
but they've said things before,
It is true.
We have said things before and it goes on for years. And it has been 20 years,
Well, there's more attention to it right now.
so this is like,
I think,
I would endorse it being done promptly, but.
So does
I think it was-
Clean Lakes have any influence over
No,
it? Probably
Sure.
not. So
Have no
who can,
influence. We thought we were responsible a couple of years ago.
right?
But it's highway department.
So Mark, can you ask Lee? I mean, if we don't have
Why do
any
you think they're
influence,
not?
would you have more influence?
I can ask if there's a schedule.
Yeah, like we wanna know. I know Long Lake Neighborhood Association would like to know.
Maybe we'll put up a postcard.
We can put out a postcard. Well, Long Lake Neighborhood the association does have a good Google group, yeah.
Yeah, we do. And when we send things out, it's like 500 or 600 bucks. of Postage alone, it's nuts. So
Yeah,
I don't think that will be required.
yeah.
So yeah, pretty quiet.
Motion to adjourn.
Saying that, yes,
So
it is
this-
7:59 and we're so glad you're here this month.
so, Steve was here last time to talk about 146. He raised his
Yes.
concerns and said,
Yes.
I did notice that there are lots on 146 that are now available, they're listed for sale.
Marketed, yeah,
Yeah, listed for sale.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
146 Tehadawon?
Oh, right. The guy who did the
Does that mean
presentation.
the whole plan has been approved?
I don't know. It would seem like if you were selling a
They
lot,
made a
it
decision.
would be approved.
Do you have an update, Mark? Do you know?
So I know they were in front of the planning board a month or so ago and asked to have the property subdivided. So they went through the A&R process and divided the property into 4 or 5 lots. And the planning board approved that. And then as far as I know, there's been nothing further on that.
Were you at our last meeting, when the guy
Oh,
from?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Who was this?
He's a neighbor who lives at right near 146 Tehadawon, which is at the
Outlet.
Tehadawon's on the side of the lake.
Outlet to
And there's a
Long
big
Lake
strip of land that's gonna get
developed.
developed and subdivided.
Developing that?
Who is the developer?
It's,
Sal.
no, it's Seal Harbor, it's Gallagher.
Oh, I'm thinking of it.
And the guy who was at the meeting, he joined us on Zoom and he was a neighbor and he was
Steve Egerton.
Steve Egerton, and he was pointing out that there's sections of that are wetland and that there's different ways to carve it up. And he was trying to work with the developer to protect some, more pristine parts of the forest
Wetland
and
buffers.
the wetland buffers, yeah.
And there's some hilly sites too, and he'd rather not see all the trees that are on the hillside removed for erosion concerns and so on.
Yeah,
So the planning board only had one discussion on it. That was February 12th, and that was just the A&R to break up the property. There's nothing further than,
But doesn't it have to go through conservation also?
so the A&R is just taking a 4-acre lot and making it 4 1-acre lots. That's all.
I understand, but if they went for building permits, they'd have to go through conservation, correct?
yeah.
Yes.
And then they would take care of it then.
Yeah.
The whole lot is 24 acres.
Yeah, I don't think it's that, I don't remember how big it is, but yeah. I thought it was 13, but you might be right.
Yeah. I looked
It's
at
like a weird land,
But there are a lot,
workshop.
much of it isn't buildable.
thing,
Yes.
not funded.
a third of it is wetland.
There's
Yeah,
houses on Tehadawon and then it's like
Yeah.
back in there, yeah.
there was, last time they said there was gonna be a yield plan, which could change the way that the lots are divided. But maybe it doesn't have to be.
Hmm.
I mean,
Well, we'll certainly keep tabs on developments.
So that's Long Lake.
Yeah.
What about Doleful? We never talk about that. It's very
Doleful.
sad. It's probably still frozen
Quiet,
over.
quiet, waiting for Tim
Yeah.
to go up after the ice melts.
April 11th is that ORS water quality training. Are you gonna do that?
Yes.
I was gonna be out of town that weekend, but I'm thinking I'm gonna stay for that. So,
Neat. That'd be great.
yeah, if you haven't signed up, you can sign up.
yeah.
Was there somebody that came out concerned about us doing that? That was sent to you? by Lake Water? Is there anything
No.
we on beside drainage?
No, nothing,
Okay.
nothing for,
So we're clear to do it, no
Yeah.
conflict with the
oh, no.
water department in town that we're testing water in Littleton and giving it to somebody else.
Not that I'm,
I think I mean, Oars specifically wanted it for the Patriot thing, right? Like, there's probably gonna be an assignment, a specific assignment that's, right? That's what I understood.
Sure.
But then we'll
And
be
they-
trained to do other water quality testing in town, so maybe we can be useful.
Yeah, I mean, Oars was interested in having a collaborative Zoom meeting, this month or next month to talk about,
right, right.
coordinating things. Maybe one of us should reach out to Abby and see if she wants to do it before or after the training.
Yeah, I think we'll get a little email chain going. Communicate, so between now and our next meeting.
Yeah, okay.
So,
And that training is April 11th, I think, so.
so Jerry, you'll be interested in this. Concord Lumber is in the process of a land swap with Sal at 410. Right, and as part of what they're doing, they're, eventually, want to remove some of the wetlands there. So they're talking to the conservation department about that preliminary, and I said, while they're talking to conservation, they should talk about getting access to Fort Pond, because Concord Lumber owns right down to the water there. So it might be part of some negotiations going on.
Very good.
What's 410?
Or the mill.
Where all the gun shops used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, the mill.
So
Are they
which
still there?
wetland is that?
There's wetlands
Oh, behind,
behind Concord Lumber there,
Oh, really?
over toward,
White Street.
119 or,
Yeah.
White Street or over toward 119?
I think they're towards White Street, but I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
positive.
I thought they were on the one
They might be-
from when you're
They might
coming
be-
down, right there.
Yeah, there's a little.
Because White-
But anyway,
They're
while
right
they're
in
in
the
front of talking to the conservation people, I said, let's talk about getting access to Fort Pond, so.
Is this so
That was
now
great.
develop that mill area?
Yeah, so the state, is basically was requiring him to negotiate with Concord Lumber because they want an exit from the 410 to come out at the traffic light. And that's Concord Lumber's property, so they've been in negotiations so that he can have an exit at the light.
Oh,
Oh.
it's like the one that, where Dolphin Insulation is?
Well, Dolphin was, yeah, but,
Yeah.
the light to get on.
Oh, 45 north.
Oh, yeah, just push it up a little bit.
They wanna make a driveway opposite that light.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
What's
that's-
gonna happen with the Ivy, with King Street? Like, will they should have their own on-ramp, right?
Well, when you're exiting, onto Great Road is a right turn only.
Okay,
So,
and then where will people have to go up onto King Street and then in that way?
if you're getting on, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
they're digging
It's
it
a
now,
long
they're
time.
finally digging.
yeah. So behind Concord Lumber is Beaver Brook, gentlemen.
Right.
Right, that's your
the
Beaver,
wetland.
that's your Beaver Brook, right? Beaver Brook runs between the baseball fields and Concord Lumber.
So last thing,
Hmm.
that didn't occur to me until right now. Should
These
we
houses are-
consider the
yeah.
proliferation of water chestnut in the Beaver Brook wetland?
So.
We have it?
Concord Lumber,
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Is
That's
it-
bad.
right,
Yeah.
and then Beaver, and then
and
there's the
It's
baseball.
so
field, that's
big that you
Beaver
can
Brook
see it in
there.
a satellite image.
Houses on the side.
Yeah, there's some, but then it
Oh,
looks like there's.
really?
Yeah.
Open spaces.
Yeah, look. You got it right there?
No.
I'll bring it up,
Yeah,
show it to you.
That's no. the Beaver
Since,
Brook comes from
what's the date on the
Beaver
image?
Mill. Beaver
The
Brook
date
goes
on
by
The
Yeah,
image,
this way,
Current.
and then it goes.
I don't know what the date, I
Kind of
mean,
back
it's-
to these houses on Jeanette.
I don't know how often they update it, but,
Then it goes under the highway. Right. I canoed it.
Where's the water chestnut on Beaver Brook?
between 119 and, Porch Pond. Up upstream of, there's a cart path that goes across Beaver Brook about
Yeah, the power line.
half a mile upstream of the lake. And it's another,
You mean the path at Butterfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's upstream of that. If you're going upstream, there's an area where you hit dense reeds and you can't go any further. So it's right about in there, but it also has some access on the shore where
There's 119.
our neighbor was
Beaver.
hunting over there this
Oh,
fall.
wait, so it's between
Forge.
119 and
And the lake.
119 and
The
the
brook.
part.
And then-
So it's technically a little to Beaver Brook.
He's talking about this, here's the lake,
That's in West.
this is all
right.
Beaver Brook
I'm
here,
not
and that's
Sure,
119.
that's a good
That's
question.
what they're talking about.
This is all water chestnut here.
No,
I
there's
think
one,
it's in the.
there's a
Wow.
thing right around here to walk across.
I don't know that from my own, oh no,
Nothing
wait, I
here.
think this is
I
it.
mean, we could,
Chestnuts.
yeah, that's.
It's got a weird place.
So, I'm sorry, did
I
you?
don't know this from my
It's just to look at that.
My neighbor hunts
Marker
ducks over here.
over-
right?
So
Yeah.
you,
At
you're
the
after
end
here,
of
Yeah.
the pond where it
Down
meets.
I've
Yeah,
never.
where'd you put
Oh,
in?
yeah?
I've seen.
How far
And
it was?
119?
Not.
It's not
Is it
in
fun?
Is it like-
Is it spring?
This was just one, so I want to see, you know, if it's a single lake, not very-
Yeah, well,
You know, lake.
But then
Well,
it's right.
it's pretty.
But if you put it.
No, last.
It goes back and
No,
forth.
definitely.
Yeah.
Beautiful spot.
Did you face it?
It's not, it's a big
Yes.
population of it there, and it's probably spreading,
I'll bet.
so.
It's here.
So is that Clean Lake Committee
Yes.
concern?
Yes.
Can you send that to me and I'll
Very
talk to
definitely.
conservation agents about it?
Right, right.
Send me a note
Oh, I didn't know.
and,
Okay.
and and I'll talk
There's
to.
the
Well, a map and
walking
a circle.
Yeah, I could,
They say
you know, I
the
could
walking
just
bridge
capture
is
this image and
119.
circle it.
Water chestnuts.
So
Okay.
do we need to do water
maybe-
chestnut pole? Is that what you do? How do you deal with water chestnuts?
You physically remove it.
Yeah,
You have to do it really carefully,
It's
because if you just yank on the stem of it, it leaves the chestnut in the ground. You
Yeah.
gotta somehow pull on it in a way that gets the chestnut to come out.
and is there a best time of year to do that?
I am not the one who knows that. but-
Boards organizes. the
Right,
polls.
so when we talk to them on the 11th, we should
Okay,
get guidance on that from them.
okay.
I mean, they organized a huge one that July.
Can you
I
do,
was gonna say, I understand it's like right in the middle of the summer when you harvest,
So,
you
Steve,
pull it all up, but the problem is, of course, the little seeds, they look like,
sit next to you, do
bark,
that, pull over.
seed, they drop and,
Kid next to me?
You have to do it in the
You
right
got you,
place.
and
you got,
they drop and disappear into the,
Who's with the
into
boat there? Daffodils
the
and
lake.
that, he disappeared.
And, yeah, well, and then they're viable for like 7 or 10 years. or something. So
Okay.
They can pop
I
up
didn't
like that.
know.
Very difficult to eradicate.
He went in and picked them, I think, did some picking at our lake.
Oh,
Who?
Steve, Wolf Cooley.
Oh, yeah, well, didn't he help with the ones that you found over next to,
Yeah.
Sean Mullins' place is where the,
Yeah.
ones we found before were. Sean
Can you
Mullins,
go out there and do it?
Sean Mullins is a scuba diver, he's
oh, he did it.
fully equipped, he did.
Oh.
Oh, I thought, cause Steve was getting ready to go over it, right?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah,
I know Steve's a diver,
yeah.
And he
yeah,
has a little dredge thing too, on his boat.
yeah, he does suction harvesting,
Yeah,
yeah, but I don't know that he knows about water chestnut and how to get the chestnut.
oh,
Best time to
I-
eradicate water chestnut, mid-May to early July, depending on what you're reading. Before the seed pods mature and drop, hand pulling works best in early summer when plants are smaller and easy to remove. Late season pulling requires care not to drop mature devil's head.
There you go.
So we should plan maybe a town water chestnut pull and.
And it's,
So I would suggest when you go to the oars training, talk to them and see if they can get someone to come out and teach people how to do it.
That would be
Right,
great.
get
right?
someone, say, we want to do a poll, we're gonna organize it, can someone please come out and help? You know, like conservation runs those weed wars.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be
You
like
can get
that, yeah.
boards to come out and train people on how to pull
we probably need to get a permit,
them. Pull
yeah.
I don't know. Do we need a permit to have, like a Doleful Pond? That was part of what Solitude was doing a few years ago, right? Was
Yeah, yeah.
I see we get some wraps, we go down there, some beers and then just do it.
I'm in.
So it's an area about the size of this room, right?
All right, that's good enough.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it's
Google Maps,
like that,
there you go.
and I think from looking at the picture that it's spread, I think there's other little
Oh, it's
places popping up,
oh, I see.
yeah.
That could be hard because
But
of the
being in the
reeds.
brook, well, you know, access is difficult. We won't be able to attack it like
Yeah,
a pond or.
paddle up there, I have paddled up
Yeah.
there. Maybe it's 2 summers ago,
Yeah, we've been.
and you get to a place where you can't paddle anymore, it's just grass everywhere.
Yeah,
And I spent a little bit of time, pulling on the grass, trying to pull my kayak through. It's just really hard to get there.
sure.
But this is before that.
It is.
Go from 119 there.
No, it's the other side of that. It's the downstream side of, if you're coming from 119, you've got that reed area that you can't get through and it's downstream of that.
I must have been in it a long time ago. I
So
did
then-
from 119 all the
Okay,
way
if
to.
it's downstream of the reed area, that might be right. Then we could get to it by paddling upstream.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when the water's high, like
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah,
So you paddle upstream from Beaver Brook, I mean, from Forge
first
Pond?
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you see it, Kim?
Well, can you walk down that walkway and drop
I'm
your
just
boat
looking
in?
at the map.
Oh,
I've never kayaked there. but-
Probably.
You
You're
saw
gonna
the
have
land.
to go over that anyway.
Huh?
You have to go over that anyway, you're not going under it.
Oh, yeah.
There's another
That's it.
path, I think, that
That's
comes
it.
in further over.
I bet that has spread. This might be it over here. This whole thing. Now, this is according to my neighbor who duck hunts.
Be motion, I need a second.
I haven't done.
I know, we kind
So
of.
where is that place?
Second.
The place you can.
We're trying to, wait, we didn't decide on when we're meeting next time.
Oh, that'll be the next step.
Oh, yeah.
Where's that place where the road crosses?
I did motion. I did my job.
Yeah.
I thought it was almost hit.
Let's see.
We almost slid through.
Tammy, you're losing your focus here.
All right, so. I'm
Moderator,
trying to
whoa, whoa,
identify.
moderator, you gotta go on.
All right, when are we gonna meet
Hey,
Hey,
again?
we're looking at April.
You feel
Think
me,
about
job?
that.
You're fired.
We'll be talking about you on the
16th?
meeting.
You know, I told Lisa Winter that we
Oh.
try to avoid Thursdays for a little while, so she might be able to participate.
Okay,
We could jump back into a Wednesday.
sure.
Well, if everybody needs their taxes done on the 15th, it might not be. okay.
Yeah, that'd be a grim.
I can't do that day. That's, last day, well, senior high school exhibition. It's also candidates night, which I can't do.
What if we did the 22nd? There's not, I mean, we'll be emailing back and forth about oars and.
Mhm.
That is
so-
April
And about the
vacation.
quote for,
First.
and about the quote,
Oh,
what do you call it? Mattawanaki?
Alright.
We'll be knowing about the quote for Mattawanaki by then?
I hope so, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
just asking.
So Tammy has a point, 22nd school vacation.
It's school vacation.
Oh, is it? Right in the middle of,
I mean, I'm probably the only one that affects, so. don't let that-
wow.
I only have one kid left.
You got plans?
I don't have plans, but I sometimes, make a plan. I'm like, oh, we should go see my mom, I don't know, stuff happens, so.
So what day are we talking about?
The 22nd.
Where's the rain?
Why don't we call it the 22nd for now? And we'll.
If Tammy schedules her trip, we can move it.
Or
She
you
can
can
invite
leave
us.
that.
Always a little bit of room in that suitcase.
I don't know, I was looking at airplane tickets and they're not good.
All right, well, we'll plan for Wednesday, the 22nd. See how that works out. April. We have a motion.
We'll
Joe
adjourn.
seconded.
Second the motion.
Anyone else has any comments? Leon?
No, I'm good.
All right, buddy, thank you. Ed, you still there?
I'm still here. I'm here. Yep.
You're a trooper. Appreciate it. I believe we're adjourned. Thank you all.